definitely have some blocks today. Blanket down on your mat, and then an extra blanket or pillow would be good. Today's practice can be a little more on the relaxing side. We worked hard for most of January, I think. We're going to take it in a different direction. Sorry, did you guys say something?
No. I'm dithering.
Okay. So practice today is inspired by Thich Nhat Hanh, who passed just a couple weeks ago. So he was an activist and also a Zen master. Lots of beautiful writing and work toward peace and mindfulness in his lifetime. If you're not familiar, he's really a beautiful soul, and he's inspired me a lot, as well as my teachers. So I'll be sharing some of his reading today in your practice, and a nice guided relaxation at the end that is from one of his books. So I'm going to ask you guys to just go ahead, come on your backs, and we'll get started. So if you are comfortable, just have legs out like Shavasana. I'm going to mute everybody. All right. So if for any reason lower back doesn't feel happy with legs out, just go ahead and bend your knees or put something underneath your knees. And coming into your nice soft breaths. Our practice is called taking refuge, and how our practice can be a refuge for us. So as you take a little bit more time to settle and breathe, I'll share from Thich Nhat Hanh's book. When we find ourselves in dangerous or difficult situations, or when we feel like we are losing ourselves, we can practice taking refuge. Instead of panicking or giving ourselves up to despair, we can put our trust in the power of self-healing, self-understanding, and loving within us. We call this the island within ourselves in which we can take refuge. It is an island of peace, confidence, solidity, love, and freedom. Be an island within yourself. You don't have to look for it elsewhere. We all want to feel safe and protected and calm. So when a situation seems to be turbulent, overwhelming, full of suffering, we have to practice taking refuge. Each of us is like a seed with the capacity for being calm, understanding, compassionate, and for taking refuge in the island of safety within us so we can maintain our humanness, our peace, our hope. Practicing like this, we become an island of peace and compassion, and we may inspire others to do the same. So from here, let's go ahead and bend the knees, set the feet flat down on the floor. And very slowly start to turn your head to the right. And very slowly turn your head to the left. And just start to really slow motion turn your head from one side to the other. We're going to work a bit with the area of the cranium and the sacrum today. These are the areas of the body that relate to our parasympathetic nervous system. And when it comes to feeling safe, that's where we want to be in our nervous system. Now, I want you to gradually make that movement slower and smaller and smaller so that you're not turning as far. And you're eventually going to get so small that you barely can notice that your head is turning. It's just the tiniest little oscillation from right to left. Maybe as if you're going a centimeter and then a millimeter, and eventually just come back to stillness in the center and take a pause. Now we're going to practice, so that was just a really small little movement to just get us in subtle awareness. We're going to practice a listening practice now. So I want you to bring your hand to your right ear. Place it behind the ear. And then you're going to fold your ear over so you're closing the flap of your right ear. And I want you to listen through your left ear. Just take a couple of breaths and see if you can listen in through your left ear. Good, slowly release. And now do the same thing with your other ear. So no hand behind the left ear. Close the flap of your left ear and listen through your right ear for a few cycles of breath. So we're getting really subtle in our awareness. Now slowly release. And next, we're going to do that with both ears in a moment, but I want to say something first before you do. So as you close both ears, you're going to listen within. So that's that inner island, that inner sanctuary. And you might find it's hard to hear me at that point. So we're going to take about 5 breath cycles. And I'm going to ring a chime. So it'll sound like that, like a... So it's a singing bowl. You might not hear it, but after 5 breaths, you can just release your ears, okay? So let's try both ears. Go ahead, close the flaps of both ears. You might be able to hear me a little bit. 5 breaths. Listen within. Let your face stay relaxed, jaw relaxed. One more breath. Ahead and release if you haven't. And now just take it all in through both ears. Take one more breath. All right, keeping those feet flat, take your arms out to a T. And we're going to do our windshield wipers from right to left. And you're going to start to turn your head in the opposite direction. It's going very slowly. And if possible, and you don't get dizzy or have any problems, close your eyes and just go to that island within as you go slowly here. Now we're going to start to make this movement smaller and smaller to each side. And eventually, just like we did with the head, you're going to just start to come a little bit closer to center. So you're barely moving the head and the legs. Very small oscillation off center. And eventually find your way back to stillness. Drop in, let your spine drop, let your head drop. Take a breath. Okay, if you have a pillow under your head, take it out and put your arms in the goalpost position. We're going to do our arch and curl work today. Again, this works with the cranial-sacral rhythm that we're targeting in on today. So as you inhale, arch your spine, your lower back is going to lift off the ground. And then exhale, flatten your lower back, curl your tailbone up and press down into your back. And then continue. Inhale, arch. Exhale, flatten. And then starting to be aware of how the head moves with the sacrum. So as your tailbone tips forward, your chin might come towards your chest. And as you lift your tailbone, the chin might lift out of the chest a bit. Just notice this nice gentle rocking motion that creates a sense of that feeling of refuge or sanctuary within. That rocking is very soothing for the nervous system. Okay, adding on, pause and bring your hands behind the back of your head. We'll add the upper body component. So inhale, arch your spine away from the ground. Exhale, we're gonna curl up. Elbows in, press through the lower back, and then release. Inhale, arch. Exhale, curl up. And now keeping that going, be very aware of the midline of your body. So the spine connecting the cranium and the sacrum. And as we pulse and arch and curl, we're pumping that cerebral spinal fluid from tail to head. Lubricating our spines, lubricating our nervous system, central nervous system along the spine. So we've all heard that saying, fried nerves, right? Dried, fried nerves, not so good. We want that nervous system to be nice and lubricated. One more cycle, please, here. And then we're going to let it all go. Let the legs slide out, let the arms slide out. Have a couple breaths. Just releasing that work. Just starting to constantly go back within yourself into that island of peace. We don't need to look outside of ourselves for it. So go ahead and take one more breath cycle there where you are. And then go ahead and bring your knees into your chest. Drop your knees apart, hold your ankles. We're coming into like an air-bound angle. So the knees are wide and you're holding your ankles, let your shoulders drop. Let's hold there one more breath. Breathing into the belly. And then from here, drop down to the ground. So the feet come down, you're still in bound angle shape. Knees are apart, feet together. Now we're gonna super slow motion start to bring the knees up, but we're gonna do it over the course of like a minute. So I want you to very slowly start to lift the knees towards each other. And you're gonna go extra slow. Sometimes there's a little quivering, a little shaking. If the inner thighs are not used to doing this work, press your lower back down into the ground so we don't start to get a big arch there. Keep going. Maybe you're about halfway right now. Let's go really slow. We're strengthening inner thighs. Can you keep your face relaxed even as your legs are working? Being aware of sensation, especially in your inner leg. Maybe 2/3 of the way about now. Keep going. Eventually, you're going to make your feet go flat. Keep going really slowly. And eventually, the knees are going to come together all the way. And then just press your inner thighs together. Good. Now slowly drop the legs open, just as slowly. Try not to rush. When it comes to creating feelings of safety and refuge, slowness is going to be very helpful. The faster we move, the less safe our body feels, because we're at more risk of hurting ourselves when we go faster. And the body thinks we're in danger when we're constantly going fast, right? We might be running from a predator. So going slow indicates that all is well, all is safe. Maybe about halfway now. Keep going really slow. Notice if there are a lot of little skips in the movement. Does your body want to skip over a spot? Can you insist on smoothing it out? 2/3 of the way. Keep going, keep going. Eventually, letting those knees fall all the way apart as far as they'll go. Letting go of all effort. Drop in. All right, go ahead, bring those knees back into the chest. We're going to roll to our side and slowly come on up into a seated position. Grab anything that would help you feel comfortable seated. All right. So we're going to start seated cat-cow here. So we're going to inhale, arch the spine, chest forward. And then exhale, round the spine, tipping your tailbone towards your head, dropping your head. And repeat. Inhale, arch, shoulders back. Exhale, round. Again, when we do anything like our cat-cows, it's this cranial-sacral rhythm. When the pelvis moves, the head moves. And we're moving that fluid through the spine, through the central nervous system. Keep your awareness right on that center line of your body. Can you really focus on staying steady on that center line for a few more cycles? So your awareness becomes like a fine thread through the center of your spine. We might be able to picture the spinal cord housed in that channel of fluid from the sacrum to the head. All right, come back to stillness. Turn your head to your right shoulder. And as you turn it, feel any muscles contracting or stretching. And then slowly go to the other side. Go side to side a few more rounds. Keeping the spine from the shoulders down very stable. We're just moving the cervical spine. Maybe each time you turn your head, you could go a little farther without forcing it. Maybe increasing your range of motion. All right, back to the center. Drop your chin towards your chest. And then semicircle over to one shoulder. Semicircle over to the other shoulder. Again, keeping that awareness on sensations. We're drawing our awareness from the external to the internal when we want to take refuge on that island within. Okay, back to the center. Now we're going to put together the head movement with the arch and curl of the cranial-sacral rhythm. So we're going to inhale, arch the spine again. Now as you exhale, drop your head to the right and let your chin come to your chest as you round your spine. Head goes to the left as you start to arch your spine. And then continue in this nice rhythm. You're arching and curling while you're taking your head in a circle. Maybe your eyes could close if you feel comfortable. You tend toward dizziness. Sometimes it's helpful to keep those eyes open. Now, next time you come chin to chest, let's reverse direction and go the other way. Continue a few more rounds. Let's take 2 more circles. After that second circle, come back to stillness all the way to center. And then we're going to bring our feet out in front of us, feet flat. And you're going to hold on either to the front of your shins or the backs of your shins, whichever feels easier for you. And we're going to sit up tall. Okay? We're going to add that arch and curl now in a new orientation. So inhale, arch the spine, spine contracts inward. Exhale, round, tuck in, curl your tailbone. Good. Inhale, come up, arch. Exhale, round. Keep going. And we're going to add on a movement of the legs. So now your hands might need to rest on your knees or on the floor, but we're going to inhale the knees open and arch. Exhale, knees together and round. So wherever you want to hold on, I've got my hands on my knees. You might want to put them on the floor. Let's do 3 more cycles. Now open, exhale, curl in. It's really good for the flexibility of our spine to do these arching and curling movements. One more time. Good, now let's come up tall, open the legs again into your bound angle, and we're gonna circle it around a little bit. So you're rocking from one sit bone to the other, circling your torso around. Good, reverse that circle, go the other way. After this, we're gonna get up and get moving a little bit more. Saving time for that relaxation at the end. Okay, back to the center, draw the knees in. And then let's go ahead, if you've got the blanket down, we'll clear the mat. And come into tabletop position. All right, there already did a lot of cat-cow. I don't think we even need to go there. So we're gonna take our hands forward of our shoulders, tuck the toes, and let's lift up into our downward facing dog. And once you're there, we're gonna pedal it out a bit, bend one knee, the other. We won't stay in weight bearing too long. Maybe shake your head out a little bit, loosen it up. And then we're gonna take our feet as wide as the mat, bend the knees a lot, and walk your hands back towards your feet, folding over your legs. Take as much of a bend in your knees here as you need to let your head go. Hold for a breath. Now we're gonna push through the feet, and very slowly, we're gonna roll ourselves up. Take your time. Bring your head up very last as you get to the top. And once you get to the top, give your shoulders a little roll. Step your feet apart wide, bend your knees, bring your hands on your hips, and we're gonna circle the hips around. Creating fluidity in the body also is very helpful for creating a sense of refuge and safety. Go the other direction. Because when we're under stress, we're under threat, our body tissues are all going to be tightening up. So when we feel more fluid like water, then it's feeling a little safer. All right, back to the center. Inhale, reach the arms up. Keep your feet a little wider today. And then exhale, bend your knees, bend your arms, flow down really softly. Let your head go. Inhale, hands up on your thighs, lift your chest. Let your spine feel like a wave. Exhale, flow down, head comes down last. Inhale, push into your feet, rise all the way up. So it's like a little bit of a softer half sunset. Hands to your heart, very meditative. 2 more cycles. Inhale, reach the arms up. Bend the knees a lot, really softly flow your arms to the ground. Maybe your legs straighten a little bit as you get down to the bottom. Inhale, hands on thighs, spine like a wave. Exhale, flow down. Inhale, push into your feet, rise up. Exhale, hands to your heart. We're doing 1 more cycle. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bend the knees, flow down. Inhale to your halfway lift. Exhale, spine like a wave, head down last. Last time, we're rising up. And bringing your hands to your heart. Okay, let's find our blocks. Put them at the top of your mat. And then we're going to stand toward the back of the mat. Step your right foot forward. Come into warrior 1 position. Spin your back heel down. We're going to bend that front knee and bring your hands in front of your heart space. Good. Okay, as you inhale, we're going to straighten the front leg. Reach your palms up. Maybe gaze up at your palms. And as you exhale, rebend, bring your hands back in front of your heart. And then just do that really meditatively. Inhale, reach up. This feels more like a Tai Chi, like you're very flowy in your movements, very fluid. 1 more time. We're going to hold it this time in your warrior 1. Palms press, open your shoulders, soft gaze. 1 more breath. Good. From here, bring your hands onto your hips. We're going to step that back foot in a few inches. We're going to straighten out both legs. Square your pelvis forward towards your blocks. And then inhale, reach those palms up overhead. And as you exhale, bend your front knee, flow your palms down and find your blocks. Bring the blocks in so they're right under your shoulders, front knee still a little bent. If you can, the back heel is down. If you need to, you could spin it up. Okay, hold here, draw your inner thighs together, front knee is still bent. Now, as you inhale, we're gonna straighten that front leg, lift your chest. And as you exhale, bend your knee and bring your belly toward your thigh. Let your head come down towards your knee. Good. Inhale, straighten the leg, lift your chest. Exhale, bend the knee. Fold towards your belly, belly towards your thigh. Head could curl down. One more time. Inhale, straighten that front leg. Exhale, belly on the thigh. Let the head come down. Now stay here. Pause. And see if you could straighten your front leg any amount. You could lower your blocks. Some of you, maybe your hands come to the floor. Let your chin draw in. Then breathe. Stay with that nice soft breath. Internal awareness, that inner refuge. Forward folds give us that sense of inner refuge as well. One more breath. All right, from here, bending into your front knee, you might want to come back up on your blocks. We're going to step forward and fold over your legs. Inhale, circle your arms up. Exhale, draw your hands to your heart. Okay, let's step the right foot back now, and we'll come into our warrior one position again, other side. So we're going to bend into that front knee. Bring your hands to your heart. Square your chest forward. And then nice and meditatively, inhale, straighten your front leg, palms slide up. Exhale, bend your knee, palms to your heart. And then keep that going like a meditation in movement. You stay aware of that central channel of your body. One more time. Okay, hold it now. Couple breaths here. Palms in front of your heart. Collarbones broad. Okay, hands to hips. Step that back foot in a few inches. We can straighten both legs. Square the pelvis straight ahead towards your blocks. Inhale, reach your arms up. As you exhale, bring your hands down to your heart, bend your knee, and let's bring those hands to the blocks. All right, so we inhale, we're going to straighten that front leg. And as you exhale, bend belly to thigh and fold. Let your head come down towards your knee or even inside your knee. And then repeat on your own. Inhale, you straighten your leg. Exhale, we bend and fold inward. One more time. This time, stay, belly on the thigh. You can stay right there or see if you could straighten your front leg any amount. Your sit bones are drawing back. Some of you might lower your blocks. Or bring your hands down to the ground and breathe here. Keep that awareness going internal. One more breath. All right, from here, we're going to re-bend into that front knee, come back up onto your blocks, then we're going to step forward And fold over your legs. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Okay, let's stand in the middle of your mat. And let's take blocks, one block behind each leg. We'll stand wide. Hands on hips. We're going to turn the right leg out. Left toes in for our warrior two. Bend the knee, right knee, and take the arms out. So maintaining this kind of very meditative, flowing movement. We're going to straighten that front leg, bring the palms together. And then release, arms out, bend the knee. Good. Inhale, straighten, hands together. Exhale, palms out. One more time. Hold it now, warrior two. Look over your right fingers. Lift your chest. Expand through your arms. Crown of the head light and lifting upward. Good. We're going to bring hands onto the hips and start to tip toward the front leg, keeping the side body nice and long. Lay your forearm on your thigh for side angle pose. Next inhale, let's take that arm and reach it up. Really ground through your feet. And on your next inhale, take that arm and reach it overhead toward the front of the room if that feels okay. If it bothers your shoulder, you can keep arms straight up. One more breath, reach through that top arm a little bit more. And then we're going to root into the feet, rise back up to your warrior two. And straighten your leg, parallel your feet. Let's do that on the other side. Turn left leg out, right toes in. Bend the knee. And bring your hands in front of your heart. All right, so we're going to inhale, straighten that leg. Exhale, arms out, bend the knee. Good. Inhale, palms together, moving slowly. Exhale. Very meditatively come back to your warrior two. One more time. All right, and then from here, hands to hips, start to tip towards your front thigh. Slowly place your forearm on your thigh. Inhale your top arm up. And you can stay there or start to reach it over your ear. Ground through your back leg, back heel. Holding it here, really reach through that top arm, lengthening side body. Good, next inhale, we're rising back up, warrior two. Straighten that front leg, parallel the feet, and step it back in. Shake it out a little bit. Okay, one more time, we're gonna step out wide again. This time we'll use our blocks. Come into warrior two to the right. Inhale, straighten the leg, hands to heart. Pause there this time, aim your tailbone down, and start to tip toward that front leg. Keep your hands at your heart for a moment, pause. And then bring the bottom hand down to the block, bring it under your shoulder, top hand on the hip for triangle pose. Tip your pelvis towards your back foot, and then inhale your top arm up. So everything done with awareness, mindfulness, presence. Reach up through that top arm, press down to your bottom hand, expand a little more. And then rise back up, warrior two. Straighten that leg, parallel your feet. Other side, warrior two to your left side. Straighten the front leg, bring your hands to your heart. Pause here, aim your tailbone down, and then start to tip towards your front leg. Pelvis is going to tip toward your back foot, and then hand comes down to the block under your shoulder, top arm straight up. Press down through your bottom hand and reach up through your top arm. Get expansive here. Try to aim your chest toward the side of your mat as opposed to the ground. Hold it there. One more breath. Palm is in the direction you're facing. Good. And then rise back up to your warrior two. Straighten that leg, parallel your feet, bring your hands on your hips. Good. Okay, bend your knees a lot, hinge at your hips. Bring your hands down to the ground. Turn your toes in just a tiny bit, pigeon toe, just a little bit. Keep those knees bent. And walk your arms forward like downward facing dog arms. Let your head come between your arms. And now inhale, straighten your legs any amount, lift your sit bones. Exhale, rebend, go as deep as it feels good for you. 2 more rounds. Inhale, legs straighten a little bit, maybe all the way, sit bones lift. Exhale, bend your knees, sit bones are coming down. One more time, inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, bend the legs. Now hold with legs bent, palms reaching forward, sit bones draw back. Maybe straighten those legs out again. Spiral your elbow creases a little bit in towards center. Getting those shoulders engaged so we don't hyperextend our shoulder joint. And now slowly walk your hands back. Heel toe your feet back in. And then bring hands to hips. We're going to come all the way up to stand. Very good. Okay, so we're going to try a modified squat today. So some of you are going to sit on, well, we're all going to sit on a block. But you might want to stack up 2 blocks to sit on. Okay? Those of you who can do 1 block, do 1 block. If you need 2, or even grab a 3rd, or a pillow on top, or a blanket on top, build it up so that you can sit in a squat position. And we're going to have our feet flat, knees wide apart. And we're going to be on the tops of our sit bones, lifting up through the chest. So we're working toward a very beginner-friendly version of turtle pose. So turtle, you think about it's in its shell. It's like a little sanctuary, a little refuge. So turtle pose in yoga is very much kind of folded in on ourselves. It's an advanced pose, so we're doing very beginner version of it. So we're going to inhale, sit up tall. And as you exhale, start to hinge forward and see if you can hold your ankles. Pause there. Now, as you inhale next time, find a little arch to your spine, like we did on our backs. Get your spinal muscles to contract inward. And then exhale, round and soften, let your head come down. 2 more rounds. Inhale, pull up on your ankles, arch your spine. Exhale, slide your palms toward your toes and round. 1 more time. Good, now we're going to inhale, come up, maybe more neutral rather than arching. Keep your left hand down, take your right arm, open it up into a twist. Press your left arm and leg into each other to help you open up. Reach that top arm toward the ceiling. And now see if you can turn the palm toward the back and drape your arm behind your back with your palm facing open. And just turn here, another breath. Next inhale, reach that arm back up. And exhale, come back to center, bring the palm down. Good. Okay, inhale, lengthen your spine without overly arching here. And then we're gonna open up to the other side for the twist. Press your right arm and leg into each other, turn open a little more. And then you can turn that palm back, see if you can drape the arm behind your back. If it's too much, you keep that arm up. And then turning open, hold another breath. Next inhale, reach that arm back up. Exhale, we come down. All right, inhale, pull up on your ankles again, lift your chest. Exhale, coming a little bit more forward, keeping your neutral spine. So no rounding just yet. Now, see if you can slide your hands back so that they're underneath your knee creases. So get a little deeper into this turtle pose. If this is too much, you're going to stay where you were with your hands on your ankles. Inhale, lift up through your chest. And now exhale, fold in, let your head come down. And if you can, stay for a few breaths in your turtle pose. Going into that inner sanctuary. But if you're straining to get here, it's not going to feel like a refuge. So I want you to modify, come out if it's too deep for you. Place where you can have a soft breath is a good place to be. Okay, let's very, very slowly start to walk ourselves back up. And pause when you get to the vertical shape. Take a breath. All right, let's walk those feet back in. And we're going to come off of our block. So however you can come off of it, let's take that out of the way. And we're going to come onto our backs. I want you guys to keep whatever you need for Shavasana nearby. We're going to do a little finishing sequence. And then we're going to relax into that guided meditation from Thich Nhat Hanh. So you're welcome to have a pillow under your head here. You might want to get something for under your knees for when we do come into Shavasana, you'll have it ready. If you have any socks or layers you want to add. And then let's come down and hug knees into chest. Make some little circles on your lower back. And reverse it, go the other way. And we're going to set the feet down flat on the ground. Bring your right knee into your chest. We're going to hold behind the back of that leg, drop it open toward the right side. And then straighten and bend that leg a few times. Kind of like a half happy baby. If you want to go farther, you can hold your ankle or your foot and do this, if that's available without strain. Or you can keep holding behind the leg. Okay, let's go ahead and release that foot down. Do the other side, bring that knee into the chest. Start by holding behind the leg. And then we're going to let that knee drop out to the side. So just the left hand holding it. And straighten and bend a few times out on an angle. Those of you who want, hold ankle or foot, going a little deeper. If that's a strain, hold behind the leg. Okay, set that foot down. We're going to do that now with both legs at the same time. Bring your knees into your chest. Hold behind both knees. Drop the knees apart. And then straighten and bend those legs. You can keep holding behind the backs of the legs, or you can hold on to your feet, in which case you'll come back more toward like a bound angle in between. Bending and straightening. All this bringing fluidity in the hips and also nice for the lower back when we do these leg movements. Now we're going to hold it either happy baby or legs out wide in the straddle position if that's available and you want to go farther. But can you keep your whole spine neutral while you're in this position so you're not curling your tailbone up like a crunch? If you have, you've gone too far. Then you hold behind the legs. One more breath. Okay, let's release. Bring those knees back into the chest. Maybe you want to do a couple more circles. So if there's any last minute thing that would help you feel complete in your practice, go ahead and do so. And we are going to find Shavasana when you're ready. I'm going to be coming up. You guys are going to stay down. So give you a moment or two to really settle. Excuse me. All right. So take any last minute fidgets, adjustments, be comfortable, warm, cover up if you are cold. Just allow your body to settle into this present moment. Sensing the breath flowing in and out. Bringing your awareness from the outer to the inner. To that inner sanctuary, that island of peace within. Just continue to allow your body to relax. Feel the contact with the floor. And be aware of breathing in, breathing out. Be aware of the abdomen rising, falling, rising, falling. Breathing in, breathe awareness to your eyes. And allow your eyes to become very soft. Relax your eyes. And allow them to sink back into your head. Releasing all the tiny muscles around your eyes. Send love and gratitude to your eyes and breathe. Breathing in, bring awareness to your mouth. Allow your mouth to relax. Let your lips feel soft like the petals of a flower. And allow there to be a gentle smile on your lips. Smiling releases tension in the hundreds of muscles in your face. Feel tension release in your cheeks, your jaw, and your throat. And breathe. Now bring your awareness to your shoulders. As you breathe out, Allow your shoulders to relax. Let them sink into the floor. Letting all accumulated tension flow into the floor. You carry so much with your shoulders. Now let them relax and care for your shoulders and breathe. Breathing in, become aware of your arms. Breathing out, relax your arms. All the way down to your fingers, every tiny muscle. If you need to, just gently move your fingers just to have a sense of them, and then let them relax and breathe. Breathing in, bring awareness to your heart. Breathing out, allow your heart to relax. You have neglected your heart for a long time by the way you work, eat, and manage your anxiety and stress. Your heart beats for you night and day, so embrace your heart with tenderness, reconciling and taking care of your heart. Breathing in, bring awareness to your legs. Breathing out, allow your legs to relax. Release tension in your thighs, your knees, all the way down to your toes. Maybe move your toes a little bit to help them relax. Send love and care to your toes. Breathing in, breathing out, your whole body feeling light, like a water lily floating on the water. You have nowhere to go, nothing to do. Feel as free as the cloud floating in the sky. Continue to breathe. Notice your breath. Notice your abdomen rising, falling, rising, falling. And your whole body in this place of inner sanctuary, inner refuge. Knowing that it took just a short time to arrive here. A few minutes of mindful awareness in your body. Notice the effects of your practice. Know that you can return here anytime within a few minutes. And now we'll start to slowly return by inviting in slightly deeper breath, subtle movements, fingers, toes, just a little wiggle, a little touch of the fingertips. Maybe roll your head slowly right to left. Just give yourself a very gradual, slow motion exit from your deep relaxation. Adding any bigger movements as you are ready before coming over to your side. Once you are on your side, take a pause. After you've had a pause on your side, take your time. Coming up to a seated position as you are ready to. Once you arrive seated, palms turn down. Find the tops of your sit bones and let the crown of the head float up. Allowing the crown of the head to feel light and open like the sky. Maybe the eyes are closed. We take a few more moments here. Breathing in, I go back to the island within myself. There are beautiful trees within the island. There are cool streams of water. There are birds, sunshine, and fresh air. Breathing out, I feel safe. We are like a boat crossing the ocean. If the boat encounters a storm and everyone panics, the boat will turn over. If there is one person in the boat who can remain calm, that person can inspire the others to be calm. And then there will be hope for the whole boatload. Who is the person who can stay calm in the situation of distress? Each of us is that person. We count on each other. Let's bring our hands together now in front of the heart space. Take an inhale, heart lifting, and exhale, bowing your head to your heart. Thank you so much, everyone. Namaste.